Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today, first of all, I'm so excited making this video because it's been a long time coming, and this is something that I've been pushing and eventually I did it, and now I'm here to tell my story. But before that, if you're new to my channel, you're welcome to the family, and if you're an oldie, hey, now let's get into it. Okay, so guys, in today's video I'll tell you guys my story. I will share with you how I passed my okay, serious I finally passed my driving test. God, my story, right? I don't know, honestly. It is a testimony, to be honest, because it wasn't easy. Okay, well, first of all, when I came last year, I got a car, like almost not immediately, but like when I really needed a car, I got a car, right? And then I already had my Nigerian driving license, and then I was able to get an international license because I hadn't taken the knowledge test first. Like, if you watch my previous video, you will know that before you can get an actual class 5 license, like I stated before, you would need your class 7 first. Okay, so I hadn't done like the knowledge test to get my class 7 license, and I needed to start driving as soon as possible because I needed to be driving to work. I couldn't just do the public transport thing because the transportation system here is horrible. I've not tried it, but the fact that when I check on Google Map, somewhere that's supposed to take me like 20 minutes to get to, driving would take me 1 hour 20 minutes to get to using public transport. It doesn't make any sense to me. The transport system here is terrible compared to Europe, compared to the UK. It's very easy. You don't even need a car. Do you get? So yeah, as soon as I needed a car, I got a car, and then I had my normal driving license from Nigeria, which is only valid for 3 months. When you come, I don't know when it starts counting from that 3 months, for that 3 months, but I actually think it's from when you arrive. Okay, so which prompted me to get an international license, because with an international license you can drive for 1 year. Okay, but like I still needed my class 7 license. I still needed to go through the process. It's really something that you can't run away from, so I don't know why it took me so long to do it. But anyway, I eventually did my knowledge test, and I passed in one sitting. Okay, I said that in my previous video. I studied and studied for it, and I called in. I booked a time slot in the registry, went in there, and I did my test in one sitting. I passed. Like, the test, you just need to pass. There are 30 questions. You just need to pass 25 and you're good to go. But if you fail, even if you get 24, you are failed. Okay, so I did that one and I passed. I got my class 7. Ideally, if I wanted to get my class 5 license immediately, I could have, because I already had my abstract or extract from FRSC, which stated my driving history. Okay, so I was eligible to like go straight for my class 5 license immediately. But you still have to go through the class 7 anyway. You still have to do the knowledge test. That one is standard. But because the class 5 license was the driving tests, okay, class 7 is knowledge test, class 5 is driving. The driving instructor would be the examiner will be there sitting beside you in the passenger side, all right, watching everything you are driving. So I was kind of tense. I'm a good driver. I've never had an accident. People just keep hitting me, but I've never had an accident. Okay, but you know that thing where you're good at something, but once somebody's watching you, you are horrible at it. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. That's what happened to me. Okay, so I postponed this thing for the longest. In fact, for over a year. Yeah, almost a year now. I kept postponing it. Like, I'll do it. And then eventually, what happened? What prompted me to now do it? My insurance was expiring, right? My car insurance was expiring, and I knew that I was going to get a reduction from my insurance. But anyway, that one is the story for another day. But that was what gingered me to like, okay, it's time. Let me just go and do this thing. Okay, that's how I went. I booked for my test in Crowfoot Registry. First of all, because I booked in Crowfoot Registry because it was cheaper. The one very close to me is about $120 something. Okay, Crow Foods is $90 plus taxes is about $93. All right, so I booked it there. I went to Crow Foods. That place is very confusing. I don't go there usually, so it was like a new terrain for me, but either way it was cheaper, so that was the attraction. So I decided to book it there. If you know how to drive, you know how to drive at me. Okay, that's how I booked for my test, because you know, if I didn't book for my test, I would never take it serious. Now, one of the things that also made me nervous about booking for my test was that parallel parking. I had a problem with it. Not that I didn't know how to do it. I knew how to do it, but I didn't know how to do it once, you know. In fact, if you're not looking at me, I'll do it without all the rules of when you're parking, make sure your side mirror is aligned with the car beside you, 45 degrees angle, all those rules. Okay, if I was going to do parallel parking by myself, I'll do it well. But you know, the fact that I had to like do it according to the way they expect you to know how to do it, it was a problem for me. So when I had booked my test, what I started doing was, every day after work, when I close from work, because I work from home, when I close from work, I would just drive around my community. All right, any car I see, I'll practice the parallel parking. Any car I see, I'll just be practicing. But it still didn't, because I was doing it alone, I really didn't know what I was doing wrong. Okay, so I called up one of my friends, and he helped me like to understand some things that I was missing. All right, and after that, like few hours, still even up to 1 hour, like after that, those few minutes of, you know, doing it back to back, right, I got a hang of it. All right, but still not very well, you know. I still kept on practicing, and then okay, exam day came. That's why I told my sister, I told my sister-in-law, I told my brother, I'm going for my test. I got there. When I got to the registry, you have to arrive there 30 minutes before the time for your test. My test was by 10 a.m. So I was there by 9:30. No, it was by 10:30, so I was there by 10 o'clock on a Saturday. I got there, I gave them my car insurance and my car registration and my driver's license. Okay, then after they did all their checks, they asked me to sit down and wait for my examiner to come. That's how I sat down there, praying all the prayer inside my mind, you know, just trying to like calm myself down. There was a guy that was there beside me. I was like, I wish you good luck, just remember to breathe, you know. That's how this examiner came. As the guy came, he just told me, could you sign here, blah blah blah. I signed. Then we went out to my car. They do their initial checks. They check, they'll tell you to on your signal lights, the left, the right one. You apply your brakes so that they see if your brake light is working. They come to the front, they do the same thing. They'll tell you to honk your horn. I did that, and then the guy asked me to put on my hazard lights. Hey guys, I was nervous. I forgot where my hazard I forgot where my hazard light was. I was now trying to do small talk. I was trying to do small talk, you know, using my eye, just carrying through the whole car to remember where it was. Finally, I saw it and I pressed it. The guy didn't even have my time. Next thing, he now gave me the brief talk. He told me, during the course of this examination, you're going to do everything I ask you to do. If you have any questions, ask me now, because during the course of the examination, we're not going to have any communication, any form of communication. This guy was not even looking at me. He was just looking straight like this and talking. The guy refused to look at my face. I said, okay, no problem. He said, oh yeah, back out. I backed out. He said, go right. I went right. Start driving. I started driving. Make a left turn. I noticed that in the driving test, they will tell you to do lots of left turns. Okay, so just keep that in mind and know the rules about making left turns. Okay, so make a left turn. You guys, I was driving as slow. I don't know. You know what? I've heard different advices for this driving test. Someone said drive like a learner. So I started driving like me, that I'm James Bond. I started driving like a learner on the road where 60 kilometers road. See, I was driving 30, 25. I was like this, driving very slowly, you know, thinking I was being very careful. time to enter like a closed area, and he asked me to do my parallel parking. I did the first one. As I was going back, I just hit the curb. I just did that one was failed. I told him, okay, sorry about that, can I try again? He said, okay, fine, go to the next car. I pointed at another car, go and do it. I did it, but I think I was too close to the curb. Okay, the man didn't say anything. He said, let's go. I continued going. We got to the downhill parking. He said, do your downhill parking. I did my downhill parking. The man didn't say anything. We continued going. We got to one huge intersection, right? And the guy asked me to make a left turn. I stood there. As I was making my left turn, the light was green. I was moving slowly because there was another car coming, and then eventually I moved. But when I was moving, the light, it was amber, and then it turned red. Okay, and then I kept on moving. Eventually the man said, okay, that we should go back to the registry. When we went back to the registry, the man started talking. He said, oh, I have good control of the car, that I know how to handle the car properly. But he started mentioning all my atrocities. In fact, let me look for that test. Where is it? On the 50 kilometers road, I was driving 25. Another 50 kilometers road, I was driving 30. 60 kilometers, I was driving 40. Another 50, I was driving 30. And then the one that gave me automatic fail was that left turn that I did in that big intersection. The man said the light had turned green. When the light turns green and you're making a left turn, you move to the middle of the intersection, all right, and trafficate before you move to the middle of the intersection, and just wait there. If there's any other car going to your right, you hold on, and when you are sure that there's no oncoming traffic, you make your turn, all right. But what happened was that the oncoming traffic, that part was free. Instead of me to turn, I was busy looking at the car that was going right. The man didn't even tell me anything, but basically he failed me. Let me even read his comments. He said, approached intersection facing green light and came to a complete stop, which you're not supposed to do. At the stop line, only one oncoming was in their left lane, which with left signal on, making a turn. Driver sat as oncoming traffic made turn, then advanced, at which time light changed to amber as she crossed X walk line, making as she crossed X walk line, making turn on red light while at intersection. Basically, I failed. That was my automatic fail. Okay. And I got, in total, ideally you're not supposed to get more than 75 in your errors. Okay, you guys, I got 130. I failed woefully. And this man, you know, when he was telling me all these things that I did, he now said, oh, your parallel parking, yes, you hit a curb. Your downhill parking, yes, you turned your tire to the right, but you didn't touch the curb. Because when you're doing a downhill parking, after you park, you're supposed to turn your front wheels to the right. Yeah, to the right, and then roll your car till the tire hits the curb. Okay, that's downhill parking with a curb. So I didn't hit the curb. Anyway, all that, the man failed me. As he was talking, he was just looking straight like this. The man did not make one single eye contact with me. He now said, do you have anything to say? As I was about to open my mouth, the man said, okay, that's the end of the test. He banged my door. I was angry. I was angry at myself. I was upset with the man because, yes, I failed, but come on, my guy. Still, like, okay, you know, tell me what I did. Yes, you told me, but I don't know. But the man was just not communicating. He was just talking and I was listening, all right? So while I was there, upset with myself, my $90, my $93 don't go. Then I saw one guy, and the guy walked up to me. And he was like, oh, did you just finish your driving test? I was like, yeah. And he was like, so did you pass? I'm like, no. I was angry. I'm like, why is this one talking to me? Do you understand? And then the guy was like, I know this route very well. If you want, I can take you. He's a Nigerian guy too. If you want, I can train you for 2 hours. And I know the route very well. I know all the places where they take you to and all that. In my mind, I'm like, this one wants to use me and shine. You know, but He was like, oh, I can give you my number. Do you know me? Like, they talk about me in Nigerians in Calgary or something. I said, I don't know you. So the guy was like, I was like, okay, let me have your number. He gave me his number and I left. I called my sister. I told my sister I failed though. I went home. I told in fact, I was so upset with myself I could not even eat. It just got to a point I was like, you know what, you failed. What's the worst that can happen? It's not like they're sending you back to Nigeria. That's not the worst that can happen, don't worry me. But anyway, so yeah, when I came home, I wasn't happy, you know, but I was like, see, I've already started trying this thing, and okay, now I know the route, I know the things I did wrong, which ideally I would not use on a normal day. I wouldn't make such mistakes. Why would I be driving 30 on a 50 kilometers road? Do you understand? So it didn't make any sense to me. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to book another test immediately, so that I don't postpone it, and you know, let me just bite the bullets once and for all, right? That's how I booked for the test on a Monday. So I booked for the next test on Sunday. I was surprised that they even work on Sundays, but I booked for the test on Sunday by 2 p.m. yeah. So I was still doing my practice, but you know, it just dawned on me that you've been practicing this thing by yourself since, and you really don't know what you're doing wrong and all that. So I kind of had a battle with myself, like, should I call this guy, should I not call this guy? Like, is this guy trying to scam me, you know? But I was like, you know what, let me not go and do this test again, pay another $93 and fail, you know, and then I'll now be thinking, oh, maybe I should have called that guy. Then I'll now call the guy eventually, pay him $80. He was charging $80 for 2 hours. Pay him $80 and then still register for the test again. So, you know, I was like, okay, you know what, let me just, you know, call the guy. So I called the guy. I booked my classes with him for the Saturday. All right, so I sent him the money and all that. That Saturday morning, you know, it was in the evening around 6 o'clock. I went to Crow Foods, met him the same place in the registry, and then we went about our driving. You guys, this was the best decision I ever made. This guy took me through the routes. They used the same routes in that Crow Foods. The same place I did my parallel parking before, the same place I did my downhill parking, the same place, all the school zones, all the left turns, the same place. So we did that. So we did it 4 times. The first time he was telling me what to do and what I was doing wrong. Second time we did it again, what to do and what I was doing wrong. And then this third time he took it like in proper exam conditions, like talking to me like the examiner himself, you know, at the second traffic light, make a left turn, do your parallel parking, all that stuff, you know. So I did that 2 times, and that was the end of the class. So I kind of noticed all the things I was doing wrong, took my corrections, and the guy was like, if you're driving like this tomorrow, you're definitely going to pass. I was like, okay, well, tomorrow we'll see now. So on Sunday I went there. Again, you know, they took my license, my driver's license, my car insurance, and my car registration. I sat down again, waited for the instructor to come. Instructor came, same procedure. He told me, please sign here. I signed, and then we went out, checked my signals, my signal lights, checked my brake lights, my horn, and then we proceeded. Make right turn, make left turn, parallel park. Okay, so I did the first parallel parking, and then this guy was, I felt more comfortable with this guy because he was trying to, like, you know, still make small talk, like, you know, like when you're driving, it's like, oh, why is this person standing on the streets, why is it, you know, stuff like that, just small talk. So I kind of relaxed. Parallel parking, I did my first parallel parking, and what happened? I was a bit too far from the curb, right? So he was like, oh, don't worry about it, let's try again. The guy said it himself, not even me saying it this time. That's the difference between those two people. Now the second one, I did it again. When I now did it, the man said, you got it right this time, which I did. I was perfect, well, almost perfect. The guy said, you got it right this time, but you were too close to the car. All right, so if any car should park close to you the way you park close to this car, you'll find it difficult coming out. The guy was explaining to me, like, he was very friendly. He was not like, there was something that he said, I can't remember that thing, but he said it's an Irish saying, something like, I can't remember, but I'll put it on the screen. He now said, you know that kind of situation where you find yourself where anything that can go wrong will go wrong. I think that's what's happening to you. So he just said it, and we were like, oh, let's go out, let's go back out. Oh yeah, the previous examiner, he said when I did my parallel parking and I was driving out, I did not do my shoulder check before driving out. So this time around, when I was driving, first of all, if it's 60, I'm driving 58 max. Lowest I was driving was 55. Okay, 60, I'm driving 58, 57. 50 sorry. If it's 60, I'm driving 58, 57. All right, if it's 50, I'm driving 45, between 45 and that's 50. All right, I wasn't taking any chances. School zone, of course I was driving less than 30, right? So my shoulder checks this time, all my body would turn like this. In fact, as I was doing it, sometimes I would say shoulder check. I hope you are hearing me before you say you do not see me doing my shoulder check. You know, I did all that, parallel parking, downhill parking. I parked my car properly, put it in neutral, turned my tire, put it in neutral, road, I hit the curb, good. Left turn, that same intersection, you guys, I got it correct this time, you know. And that was it, you know. There was one other left turn I did. That one was very dicey. There was an oncoming car, and then I was still passing. It was just it was a dicey situation. But the guy even made a comment. He was like, he doesn't know why that junction is always very problematic, particularly for the cars that are coming forward. They never, oncoming traffic, they never trafficate on time, so it's always very difficult for you to know what to do. So he said it himself, and I was comfortable. Okay, and then we got back to the registry. He told me to park. I parked. The guy said that he doesn't know what happened last time. Is this my first time doing my test? I said no, I did it last week and I failed. He said he doesn't know what may have happened last week, but that he just wants to tell me that I'm one of the smartest drivers he had tested in the past 2 weeks. I'm like, oh my god, you brought tears to my eyes, to be serious. I'm like, oh my god, like I teared up, to be honest. It was like, you're one of the smartest drivers I've taken in the past 2 weeks. You did everything correctly. You did your shoulder checks. You did your turns. You did your parallel parking. You did your downhill parking. Everything was perfect. I'm very impressed. You are a very smart driver. And he said you passed. I'm like, say what now? He said you passed, you know, go into the registry, you know, do what you're supposed to do. I was like, oh my god, thank you so much, thank you. I was tearing up, you guys, because I don't know why I was emotional, because this day there, it's been a long time coming, god. So anyway, the guy left, so I went into the registry. I told them, oh, I want to upgrade my license. I did my eye test again. Did the eye test, every single letter, even the tiniest one, I was calling it, because I've done the hardest part of this driving test. It's not this eye test that will fail me, okay? So I did that one, and yeah, they gave me my temporary license. It's just the paper. Gave me my temporary license, and that's it. I got my class 5 driving license, so now I'm free. I can go downtown, even though I don't like going downtown, because that place is just somehow. But now, you know, I felt like one kind of heavy load was lifted off my shoulder, you know. But yeah, that's my driving story. I passed eventually. Finally, I passed. So yeah, anyway, let me just give you guys pointers. If you're trying to get your class 5 license, see those shoulder checks, don't play with it. Learn your left turns very well, the rules concerning left turns. The yield, yeah, I also had that problem in the yield. The yield sign, the guy said that I made a stop. You're not supposed to make a stop, you're just supposed to approach traffic. You're supposed to enter the road gradually. If you see oncoming traffic, you stop, but if not, you just, you know, enter. So your yield sign, your left turns, your shoulder checks, make sure you do your shoulder checks before you turn and all that. Yeah, parallel parking, downhill, uphill parking, downhill with a curb, uphill without a curb, all that. You don't know the one they're going to tell you to do, so just, you know, do all that. And that was it, guys. I passed. Meanwhile, I forgot to mention that Sunday, as I was going, when I booked for the test, I did not tell anybody. I didn't tell my sister, my brother, nobody knew, only me and my God. Okay. So as I was going out that day, I told my sister-in-law, I'm coming, let me go and see my friend. And I left the house. Okay, so by the time I passed, I came back, I was like, but I refused to tell anybody, because I didn't want anybody to be asking me how far did you pass. Please, if I failed again, let me just chop my failure by myself. Okay. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and comment down below. What was your own driving experience? Like, did you pass in the first try? What was your story? And yeah, comment, like, share this video, and yeah, be good to yourself, love yourself, and love others. Bye.